Welcome to Massive Beers. My name is Matt. We do beer stuff here. We do a bunch of different beer stuff. Beer reviews, podcasts. Yeah, that's the bulk of it. Live streams, all that kind of fun stuff. Trip videos. Or group videos? I don't even know what you call it. Listen, Beertuberpalooza. It's this weekend. That's all I have to say. Yeah, it's that time of year for the gathering of beer tubers. Several years ago, just reached out to a bunch of American beer tubers and actually international and everything, but I didn't expect anybody to come. Said, hey, let's all meet up. Let's have a thing where we all chill out, do a bunch of beer stuff, and have fun. People came. We had a blast. Had it here at my farm. Did it the second year. Grew. More people came. We had even more of a blaster time. And it became a thing. Skipped the pandemic, the bulk of it, because the pandemic's still gone, technically. The beginning of it, the less protected part of the pandemic, let's put it that way. And then last year, our third one, we ended up moving away from the farm, with my kid and logistics and stuff like that. It was just hard for me to hold here, so we picked a semi-centralized location of Albany, New York. Kyle from No Hate Beer Reviews was gracious enough to kind of do a bulk of the hosting, and a bunch of us met up and we had a blast. We went all a bunch of different places, ended up doing some podcast interviews, Stephen Fidens, met some viewers, had an absolute great time, and look forward to this year's iteration. We're kind of toying with the idea of where we would go, who would host, because that's the whole shtick of it. You kind of have to have a host who knows the lay of the land and can do whatever. So the long and short of it this year, who stepped up? Not a beer tuber, but Steven. Steven, the king beer of Beer Mountain, as I would put him. A lot of people call him the resource. Sends a lot of us, especially our northeastern beer tubers, a bunch of different beers. And he said, man, I just bought a house. It'd be a really great spot. I'm close to a bunch of great breweries. Do you guys mind if I hosted it? And we're like, hell no. So that's where we're at. Yeah, this weekend, which is going to be, was it the 15th, 16th, and 17th? And we're going to be doing Connecticut, Willimantic, Connecticut. And it should be a really good time. Have some new faces coming. Have some old faces that might not be able to make it for a couple different reasons, but it should be quite the blast. And as I am wont to do, I like to make a little bit of a trip of it. I don't really get away from home all that often. Actually, the last time I left my awesome child, Micah, and my wonderful wife, Liesel, left them behind. It sounds horrible, doesn't it? Left them for a day or two, or even an overnight trip. Was the last Beertuberpalooza. So last year I did like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and came home Sunday. This year I'm actually doing Friday, Saturday, and coming home on Sunday. And I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to have a couple different spots I'm going to hit off. We'll do a little time stamping on that. So if any of you who watch the channel live locally want to meet up and catch a beer, you're more than welcome. So, Friday. I'm going to take off a little bit early on Friday and make my way up to Connecticut. And actually, my first stop is a brewery I've been wanting to go to for quite some time, and that would be OEC Brewing. OEC Brewing is kind of like, I would say, almost a halfway point between me and Steven's spot. They're up in Connecticut, and they have a really cool kind of... What's the word I'm looking for? It's not shtick, it's just operations, because they are born from the distribution side of beer. For those who don't know who OEC is, they're actually a part of, or at least part of a parent company of Be United. Be United is one of the United States' largest importer of beers. If you've drank J.W. Lee's, Schlenkeler, even like a bunch of different imports from Europe, chances are you've drank a Be United import and you didn't really know it. If you look at the label, you probably see it on there. Next time you drink something from Europe, you're probably going to see, a couple different importers, Shelton Brothers, Be United. There's a couple different ones that exist. But they have been importing awesome beer for years, and they decided to open a brewery. And the brewery is quite... When it first opened, it was really kooky. They would take, like, J.W. Lee's and barrel age it themselves and rebottle it and all kinds of crazy stuff. But they brew a lot of their own stuff, do a lot of sour program stuff, mixed firm stuff. They've done some big barrel aged stuff, distillate beer, like still beer, Utopia style beer. They do a lot of low ABV chuggers, and that's kind of like just their all around kind of business model. From the stuff that they import to the kind of beers they make. I've always wanted to go there, and I've just never really had the chance to stop. I've kind of sort of passed by there, but it's never been like along my way, and I've just never really ended up popping in there. Well, we're changing that this time, and we're going up on Friday. We're going to get there, try to get there for open at noon, and hang out for an hour or two. See what their tap list have to offer, walk around Be United, see if I can pick up a couple different beers from there. There's actually one specific beer I know they have. It's a whale beer for me personally that I am buying when I go there, and we'll review it when we get back, and we'll tell the story and all that fun stuff. But yeah, so I'll be there for a couple hours. So if you're in the area of OEC and Be United and you want to meet up and grab a beer, you're more than welcome to join me. Like I said, I'll get there at noon, probably stay there till about 2 o'clock or so, and then head my way up to Willimantic. Steven's house is about an hour and a half away, and probably just tool around the house and chill out and wait for other people to arrive. Some people for the Beertuberpalooza coming on Friday, some coming on Saturday. Probably meet up with a couple different people and see where the night leads us. Whether we go out about in town, hit a tap room, chilling inside, and do reviews and all that fun stuff. Who knows? That's kind of the fun stuff of Beertuberpalooza. But then we roll on to Saturday. Saturday, obviously, the main event. A lot of it has to center around like BeerTube reviews and live streams and all that kind of fun stuff. But typically, especially when, not especially when I held it, but every year, we pretty much go out and about on a Saturday, at least early on. I would take the people that would come down here and take them to random different breweries in and around the area. And last year, a few of us did our own kind of thing, but we ended up congruing about a couple different breweries and went to like street fairs and stuff like that. But this year, we're definitely going to a brewery. I assume we're hitting it when they open. That would be Fox Farm. I say this is not hyperbole. I'm pretty sure Fox Farm is my favorite brewery in the world. If I'm going to say who's your favorite quad brewery or brewery that makes the Belgian quad or makes an imperial stout, maybe I pick other breweries, but I'm talking about from top to bottom, soup to nuts, making what they make. Really hard pressed to find a better brewery. They make everything from like 2% table beer to like 15% imperial stouts, everything in between, mixed fermentation stuff, sour stuff, lagers, barrel-aged stuff, hazies, the whole nine, and pretty much everything I've had from them has been top-notch. They've been at the top of my bucket list for breweries for quite some time now. OEC's up there, but man, Fox Farm I've always really wanted to go to, and they're only about a half an hour away from Steven's place. So we're gonna saddle up and then head down to a Fox Farm and enjoy the morning. Definitely want to sit there, drink in the place. It seems like a very, very nice, beautiful venue. Looks like it's got a great tap room. Just hang out, chill, maybe record a podcast. We'll see what happens. I don't know. I'm trying to schedule a couple things while I'm there, but just enjoy the morning. Grab some beers, and from there, I actually don't know what else we're gonna hit. Whether we're gonna go straight back to the casa or whatever, but it will definitely be at Fox Farm for open. So again, if you're in that area, you're gonna be up that way, stop by, say hi, pop in, we'll rip a beer, and then just do a billion different reviews and a bunch of live streams and get all kinds of silly and stuff like that. Sunday rolls around. Probably say our goodbyes, grab a little bit of breakfast, and I know I'm gonna head towards home. It's funny because I created a Instagram poll on the stories about where I should go on my ride home. Because on my ride home, on my ride up, I'm stopping at OEC. It's planned because I don't want to make that whole trip in one shoot. It's nice to have a little bit of a break. Still want to go visit OEC, so it was kind of worked out that way. Same thing on the way back. Kind of want to stop someplace middle-ish range, so I driving out a couple hours, hang out, relax, and then drive that rest of the remainder home. And I had a little map on my path, and I said, I'm leaving from B, I'm going to this point, where should I stop? And I said, let me put a couple different breweries that I thought about stopping at. 12% Beer Project. They house a bunch of different brewers who don't have breweries, or some have very small breweries, and they go there and they brew their beers themselves. They have a nice tap room, a lot of stuff to go. I put that on the list. Landslide winner, by the way. People voted that the place to go. I put on Two Roads, which I've always wanted to visit. I mean, just their base beers to their new kind of sour program and stuff like that. I've always wanted to visit. Only one vote so far for that, which was kind of disappointing. Nebco, New England Brew Company, a couple people voted for that. And now it's like, the best places that I could go to are the places that either I don't know about or don't think about visiting. So I put up an option of C, or A, B, C, D. Sorry. Other. DM me with where you think I should go, and several people sent me the same place, New York Craft Collective, which is in Mamaroneck, New York, getting close to Yonkers or Yonkers-ish, and they're like, you should really stop there. And they're like, they make really, really good beers. And at first I was hesitant. I was like, if I get down that far in towards New York City, I kind of have to go to the George Washington Bridge home, and then that opens up the can of worms of traffic and all that bull crap that I don't want to deal with. And they're like, no. And they're like, you should really check it out. And I deep dived into it a little bit, and I did not know. I know this person, Zach from Marlowe Ales. I know he was the head brewer at 12% Beer Project, pretty much helmed all that stuff. We talked about him, all this on the podcast we held with him. And then he ended up buying a spot that the Two Villains had in Nyack. And I didn't know he left that. Like, I don't know what happened with that. I'll probably find out when I visit there on Sunday. But someone in the channel, when I was talking about Marlowe Ales, they're like, nah, he's not there. That fell through. He's now in Mamaroneck doing this thing. And I didn't put two and two together. And it's his spot. Him and a couple different people basically put together kind of a smallish version of 12% Beer Project and have their own kind of craft beer collective kind of thing going on there. And they brew a bunch of different beers under a bunch of different names and their own stuff there too, and it looks like a really great spot, so I'm going to hit that up. It also gave me the opportunity to maybe visit with some New York City friends. I'm like, you know what, I'm that close. I could probably persuade maybe a friend or two from the city to come visit me and hang out and have a beer. Lo and behold, that might be the case. So I'm going to head out down there and try to get there for open, which would be 11 a.m. The only reason I don't get there for open at 11 a.m. is because I end up hooking up the podcast to be a little bit later. Check my social media if you want to meet up. I'm almost certainly going to be there for 11 a.m. So if you're in that area, New York City area, you want to chug a beer, come on by, hang out. There you go. That's my little trip. Not so little, OEC, over to Willimantic, down to a little Fox Farm, trip home, hit off Mamaroneck and a little bit of New York Craft Collective, head on home. That's a great weekend. Honestly, get home on Sunday, look forward to the week work. Wrong. Why? Because I'm not going back to work till Thursday. Why? I've tipped this off on the channel before, but I'll mention now, hanging out with the one and only Rampant Lion Beer Reviews. That's right. Yeah. Coming to the States. Chilling. Drinking some beers. James from Rampant Lion Beer Reviews. Scottish in his core, but lives in Copenhagen at the moment. And we've been boys for years. Beertubers kind of, talk about beer. That's obvious. But me and him have chatted quite a bit on the side outside of beer stuff. He has a young child. I have a young child. We have a lot of the same stuff going on. And he's always kind of tipped his hand about coming over here. But it's never materialized, whether it be like stuff got in the way, COVID, pandemic, all that kind of stuff. But he has a friend that was getting married that their nuptials got pushed back because of the pandemic, and that's actually happening. So he's going to be here. He's already here. He's been here for a couple weeks, tooling actually in Jersey. We haven't even hooked up yet. But he's in Connecticut at the moment. And then on Monday, so I'm going to come back on Sunday, and Monday I'm going to go pick him up and out towards, I forget exactly, towards Jersey City he's staying at. Newark area, actually. And then we're going to spend a couple days together hanging out and doing stuff. Probably on Monday when I pick him up, hit whatever breweries are open on a Monday, in that area, Newark area, kind of northeast Jersey, borderline New Yorkish area, bounce around there, come back here, do our thing, chill in the studio, probably just drink some beers, record some stuff. Tuesday's the big adventure day. I'm going to take him out and about. I have two places I really do want to go. Bomb Place be one of them, Conclave be the other. I'm not quite sure which one we're going to hit. If we go to Conclave, then we can go to Brick Farm Tavern, do a little troon, hit a couple places off down there. If we go to Lehigh Valley, we can do Bond, do a couple things down that way. Not quite sure where we're going to go, but I'm sure we'll record a bunch of that stuff. We'll have a blast. Come back here, do the whole review thing again. And who knows, Wednesday. Maybe we go out more, do more stuff. I don't know. Maybe I take another day off work. I don't know. But it's going to be a great weekend. It's like ultra Beertuberpalooza for this guy. Going up to kind of hanging out with all the people that make this community so great and so fun. So just fantastical to be around and come back, meet someone I've always wanted to meet with, chug some beers, do some reviews, do some adventure time up and around in Jersey. It's going to be a really awesome weekend and leading into next week. So yeah, figured I'd give you a quick update. It's almost like a channel update / hey, what are we doing? What's going on? Hey, Beertuberpalooza is coming around. Keep your eye out. So do that. If you're going to be in any of those breweries, any of those areas over that span of those 5 days, let me know. We'll hook up. We'll grab a beer. Like I said, OEC for noon on Friday. Fox Farm for open on Saturday, Sunday. Your Craft Beer Collective, Marinac for their open, which I believe is 11 a.m. Go from there. So, yeah. If you have any requests, if you have any ideas, if you have anything you want us to cover in Beertuberpalooza, put it down there. Otherwise, hopefully you enjoyed this little update. Hopefully you enjoyed all the footage and all the fun stuff that comes from making all these videos over the next couple days. Hopefully you're enjoying a beer right now. Hope to see you next time. Cheers, y'all.